At Thanksgiving dinner, my brother's wife suddenly shouted, "I'm pregnant, and your brother is the father." My brother turned white, his wife smirked. Until my dad tossed a folder on the table and said, "Actually, here's a DNA test that proves otherwise." I'm 32 male, living in Boston. My family has always been close-knit. My older brother, Mark 35 male, has been married to Sarah 33 female for about 5 years. They've had their ups and downs, but nothing out of the ordinary, or so I thought. Thanksgiving has always been a big deal in our family. We gather at our parents' house in Newton, a suburb of Boston. Mom goes all out with the cooking, Dad ensures the house is spotless, and everyone pitches in. It's one of those traditions that makes you feel grateful for family. This past Thanksgiving started like any other. The house smelled of roasted turkey, stuffing, and pies. We were all seated around the dining table. My parents, Mark and Sarah, our younger sister Lily 28 female, and a few close family friends. As we were passing dishes around, Sarah stood up, clinking her glass for attention. With a beaming smile, she announced, "I'm pregnant." The room erupted in congratulations. Mark looked shocked but happy. He stood up, hugged Sarah, and kissed her on the forehead. "That's amazing news," he said. But then Sarah added, "And your brother is the father." The room fell silent. Forks paused midair, and all eyes darted between Mark, Sarah, and me. I felt my heart drop into my stomach. "Excuse me," I managed to stammer. Sarah's smile faded slightly, but she maintained her composure. "You heard me. We've been seeing each other for a while now." Mark's face turned ghostly white. "Sarah, what the hell are you talking about?" Before I could defend myself, my dad, who had been unusually quiet, cleared his throat. "Actually," he said, pulling a manila folder from beside his chair, "I had my suspicions." He tossed the folder onto the table. "I had a DNA test done. The baby isn't yours, son." The room was spinning. "Wait, what?" I exclaimed. "You thought I was involved with Sarah?" Dad shook his head. "Not you. But I knew something was off." Sarah's confident demeanor shattered. "What is this?" she demanded, snatching the folder and scanning its contents. Her face drained of color. Mark grabbed the papers from her hands. As he read, his hands trembled. "Sarah, how could you?" Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes. I didn't think you'd find out." Lily, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke up. "Wait, so if it's not Mark's baby and it's not my name, then whose is it?" Mom, with a look of disappointment and sadness, said softly, "It's Greg's." Greg was Mark's best friend since college. He was practically family, always around for holidays and gatherings. The revelation hit harder than anything else. Mark sank into his chair, burying his face in his hands. "My best friend? My wife." Sarah sobbed. "I'm so sorry, Mark. It just happened." Dad, always the composed one, said, "I had my doubts when I noticed how close Sarah and Greg had become. So, I took matters into my own hands." Mark looked up, tears streaming down his face. "You went behind my back, Dad?" "I had to protect you," Dad replied. "I couldn't let you raise a child that wasn't yours without knowing the truth." The rest of the evening was a blur. Sarah left in tears, Mark stormed out, and the rest of us sat in stunned silence. Our Thanksgiving dinner lay untouched. In the following weeks, Mark filed for divorce. Greg tried reaching out to apologize, but Mark wanted nothing to do with him. Our family dynamic shifted dramatically. Trust was shattered, and the holidays haven't been the same since. I still can't wrap my head around how our family unraveled in a single evening. I never thought something like this would happen to us. It feels like a bad dream I can't wake up from. Thanks for letting me share. I don't know what I'm hoping to achieve by posting this, but maybe someone out there has been through something similar and can offer some advice on how to heal and move forward. TLDR, during Thanksgiving dinner, my brother's wife announced her pregnancy and claimed I was the father. Our dad revealed a DNA test proving otherwise, exposing an affair with my brother's best friend. Family dynamic shattered. Edit/update. Wow, I didn't expect this post to gain so much attention. Thank you to everyone who commented, shared their own experiences, and offered advice. It's been a whirlwind since that fateful Thanksgiving, and I wanted to provide an update. After the initial shock wore off, our family had several sit-down discussions. Emotions were high, but we knew we needed to address the elephant in the room. Mark's journey. Mark took the news the hardest. Discovering his wife's infidelity with his best friend was a double betrayal. He moved out of their shared home and stayed with our parents for a while. Therapy became a crucial part of his healing process. He's been attending sessions regularly and has found solace in reconnecting with old hobbies and friends. Recently, he adopted a dog, which has brought some joy back into his life. Sarah's situation. Sarah moved in with her parents after the separation. She reached out multiple times, seeking forgiveness, but Mark wasn't ready. She gave birth to a baby boy a few months ago. From what we've heard, Greg is involved in the child's life, but their relationship status remains unclear. Sarah has expressed remorse, but actions have consequences, and rebuilding trust isn't easy. Family dynamics. Our family has been working hard to mend the rifts. We started new traditions to replace the painful memories of that Thanksgiving. Open communication has been our mantra. While the scars remain, we're slowly finding our way back to each other. For me, this experience has been a lesson in resilience and the importance of trust. I've started journaling to process my emotions and have considered joining a support group for families affected by infidelity. It's a journey, but I'm hopeful for the future. To anyone going through similar situations, know that healing is possible. It takes time, effort, and a lot of patience, but with support, you can find your way through. Betrayal cuts deep, especially when it comes from those closest to you. But with time, understanding, and support, wounds can heal. Our family isn't perfect, but we're committed to moving forward together. After that night, everything just kept falling apart piece by piece. Mark stopped answering calls. Mom tried checking on him, but he barely spoke. He went back to his place after a few weeks, and we later found out he had quit his job. No notice. Just walked out one day. He said he couldn't sit in meetings pretending like everything was fine. The weight of it was too much. Sarah tried to show up at the house once. She brought cookies. Like that would fix anything. Dad opened the door, looked at her, and said, "Leave." No yelling. Just a firm, cold voice. I had never seen him look like that. Not even when he caught me smoking in high school. Sarah stood there for a second, then turned and walked away. Then came the bombshell. Greg's fiancée, Nina, reached out to me. She messaged me on Facebook. Said she needed to talk. I ignored her at first. I figured maybe she was pissed or trying to dig dirt. But she messaged again. "It's not what you think. I know something." So I met her at a cafe near Fenway. Cold as hell that day. She showed up in a big coat and sunglasses, looking like she hadn't slept. She said, "I found out before Thanksgiving." Apparently, she had seen texts. Greg had left his laptop open. And there it was, messages from Sarah, late at night. Some were flirty. Some were full-on explicit. But the one that broke her was from Sarah saying, "Do you think he suspects it's yours?" Nina asked Greg about it. He lied at first. Said Sarah was drunk texting him. Said she had a thing for him, but he ignored her. Then Nina pulled the texts out. Confronted him. He cracked and admitted it. Said it happened once. Maybe twice. Said he didn't mean for it to go that far. But Nina told me something he didn't know she saw. A hotel receipt. A pattern of late-night meetups. And a picture Sarah had sent of herself in his shirt. Same one he wore to our Halloween party. Nina didn't tell Mark. She didn't know how. She thought if the baby was Greg's, it would come out eventually. She told me I couldn't ruin Thanksgiving. Then she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "But I think it was on purpose." "What was?" I asked. "Sarah. She wanted to ruin him. Your brother." I laughed. I told her she was reaching. But she leaned forward and said, "No." She told Greg she was sick of Mark. That he was weak. That he didn't deserve her. She said she wanted to blow up the whole thing. That stuck with me. I went home that night and couldn't sleep. I kept replaying all the time Sarah made little digs at Mark. About his job, his clothes, his friends. How she once said, "You could have done so much better than accounting." And laughed like it was a joke. Mark had told me once, "Sometimes I feel like she's embarrassed of me." I told him he was overthinking. But now I wasn't sure. Then, a week later, another twist. I got a call from a guy named Adam. Said he worked with Sarah. I almost hung up. But he said, "Wait. I'm not trying to stir the pot. But I thought your brother should know something." Turns out, Greg wasn't the only one. Adam said Sarah had been seeing a third guy. A married guy from her office. He said people had seen them sneaking around for months. Going to lunch together. Coming back late. One coworker caught them kissing in the parking garage. I told Dad. He just sat down and didn't say a word for 5 minutes. Then Mark showed up out of nowhere. He looked like he'd aged 10 years. Thinner. Eyes tired. Hair unkempt. He said he wanted to talk. We all sat down. Dad, Mom, Lily, me. Mark said, "I need to tell you something." We waited. "She's not done. Sarah. She's trying to sue me for spousal support." Mom gasped. Lily said, "What?" "She filed a motion last week," Mark said. "She claims I emotionally abandoned her." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "Are you kidding?" "No," he said. "She's saying she felt neglected. That I shut her out." Dad looked like he was going to explode. "She cheats on you with your best friend, and she wants your money?" Mark nodded. "She's also trying to fight the divorce. She wants to settle outside of court and walk away with half." We were all stunned. And then he said it. "I think I want to fight." We hadn't heard him sound that clear in weeks. He said, "She thought she could walk all over me. She thought I'd just fold. But I'm done being quiet." We didn't know what to say. It was the first time since Thanksgiving that he looked alive. I offered to help. I said, "Whatever you need, I'm in." He looked at me and smiled. A small one, but real. But just when we thought things couldn't get worse, we got an email. From Greg. He said he wanted to come clean. That he had something he had to tell all of us. That it wasn't just Sarah he had betrayed. And that he needed to do it in person. He asked if we'd meet him. We haven't answered yet. But I have a bad feeling. We finally agreed to meet Greg. I didn't want to, but Mark insisted. He said, "Let him say whatever he has to say. I want it all out in the open." So we met at Dad's place. Just me, Mark, Lily, Mom, Dad, and Greg. He showed up looking like he hadn't slept in a week. Messy beard, wrinkled shirt, eyes bloodshot. He walked in, stood in the living room like he didn't know where to sit. Nobody offered him a seat. Greg looked at Mark. "I'm sorry," he said, voice shaking. "I know there's nothing I can say to fix what I did. But there's more." Mark didn't say a word. Just stared at him. Greg looked at me. Then back at the family. Sarah told me she was going to pin the baby on someone else. She wanted a clean break with money. She said she'd use your name if she had to. I blinked. What? She wanted the baby to seem like yours, Greg said. Because she thought it would destroy the family. She said you were the golden child. Mom gasped. She was going to accuse both of my sons? Greg nodded. She told me she'd plant things. A text. A voicemail. Anything to make it look real. If you didn't go along with it, she'd say you forced her. That made me feel sick. I had goosebumps up my arms. Mark said quietly, why would she do that? Greg hesitated, then said, because she hates your family. She said you all judged her. That she was never good enough. She was angry you didn't take her side when your mom criticized her cooking last Christmas. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Sarah was going to accuse me of being the father of a baby that wasn't even mine, just to hurt Mark? To get revenge on Mom for a comment about stuffing? Then Greg added, she also had a private investigator follow you, Mark. She thought you were cheating. Mark's jaw clenched. I wasn't. Greg nodded. I know. But she was looking for something to use against you. She found nothing, so she decided to create something. That's when Dad stood up. I want her out of our lives. Permanently. And I agreed. But that's not where it ended. A few days later, I got a call from a blocked number. I almost didn't pick up, but curiosity got the better of me. It was Sarah. I know you talked to Greg, she said. I said nothing. She kept going. He's lying. I never said those things. I never threatened you. I asked her why she did what she did. Why she dropped that bomb at Thanksgiving. She said, because Mark deserved it. What the hell are you talking about? I asked. And then she said something I'll never forget. He lied to you all. He's not who you think he is. Before I could respond, she hung up. I told Mark what she said. He looked away. Said, she's messing with your head. But later that night, he called me. Said, there's something I never told you. Apparently, years ago, before he married Sarah, he cheated on her. Once. He said it was a mistake, that he came clean and begged her forgiveness. He thought they moved on. But now he thinks she never let it go. That all of this might have been revenge. Long, cold revenge. So what are you going to do? I asked him. He said, I'm going to fight. I'm going to expose everything. I'm done hiding. But that wasn't even the worst part. The next morning, Lily called me. She was crying. I asked what happened. She said she got a letter. Handwritten. No return address. Inside were photos. Of her boyfriend. With Sarah. I don't know when this happened, she sobbed. I don't know how she even knew him. I didn't know what to say. Sarah had somehow inserted herself into every corner of our lives. We thought it was over. But it's not. She's still out there. And I think she's not done. Lily showed up at my apartment the next day. She was pale, shaking, clutching that envelope of photos like it was made of glass. She didn't speak for a while. Just sat on the couch staring at the wall. When she finally did speak, she said, I confronted him. He didn't even deny it. Her voice cracked. He said he was drunk. That it was a mistake. Said she came on to him. That it didn't mean anything. I asked her what she was going to do. She said, I broke up with him. I told him I never wanted to see him again. But I don't know how to stop hating her. That night, we decided we were done being afraid of what she might do next. We needed to confront her, all of us, together. Mark, Lily, Dad, Mom, and me. We weren't sure what would come of it, but we couldn't keep living in fear of the next surprise, the next letter, the next lie. Dad found out where she was living, her parents' house in Worcester. We drove there in silence. No music, no conversation. Just the sound of tires on the road and the heavy weight of everything that had happened. Sarah answered the door looking surprised but not scared. She even smiled a little. So she said, the whole gang's here. Mark stepped forward first. We're not here to fight. We want the truth. All of it. Every piece. Sarah leaned against the doorframe. The truth? You couldn't handle it when I gave you the truth at Thanksgiving. Lily stepped forward then, voice shaking but strong. You slept with my boyfriend. That caught her off guard. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I got the photos, Lily said. You ruined my relationship for what? For revenge? For fun. Sarah's face changed then. She looked tired, worn out. Her smirk disappeared. She whispered, I didn't mean for that to happen. Then why did you do it? I asked. Why try to pin the baby on me? Why lie about everything? She looked down. Because Mark lied first. And then it came out. The full story. Mark had cheated early in their relationship twice, not once. Once with a girl from work, once with someone they both knew. Sarah found out only after they got engaged. She stayed because she thought he'd changed. Because she wanted to believe in him. But she never forgave him. I wanted to destroy him, she said, looking Mark in the eyes. I wanted him to feel what I felt. I wanted to take everything from him. Mark didn't speak. His face was blank. Then Sarah said something none of us expected. I'm giving up the spousal support claim. I'll sign whatever papers your lawyer sends. We stood there stunned. Sarah added, I don't want anything anymore. I got what I wanted. You lost your friend. You lost your job. Your family was ripped apart. That's enough. Then she looked at me. And you. I never planned to actually accuse you. I just wanted to scare you. You always acted like you were above everyone. Dad stepped forward then, fury in his eyes. You used our family like pieces on a chessboard. Sarah stared at him. Maybe, but you all made it easy. And with that, she closed the door. We stood there for a few moments in silence. Then Mom said, "Let's go home." We drove back in silence again, but this time it wasn't heavy. It was strange, lighter in some ways, like a final chapter had been written. Over the next few weeks, Mark got back into therapy. Lily started seeing someone new, not serious, just casual, but healthier. I cut ties with anyone connected to Sarah, including Greg, who tried one more time to message me, saying he didn't know she'd slept with Lily's boyfriend. I blocked him. At Christmas, we had dinner together again. Just the family. Smaller, quieter, but peaceful. We didn't talk much about Sarah, but we didn't need to. The damage was done. We were just trying to rebuild from the wreckage. For me, the betrayal still stings. I trusted Sarah. I defended her. I had no idea how twisted things had become beneath the surface. But what I learned is that love doesn't always fix things. Sometimes it blinds you. And sometimes, the people you protect the most are the ones doing the damage. I still don't know if Mark will ever fully recover. He's different now. Quieter. Sadder. But maybe stronger too. He told me once. It took losing everything to figure out who I really was. As for me, I'm moving on. Slowly. I've started dating again, but more cautiously. I keep people at arm's length. Not because I want to, but because I have to. Trust is harder now. But I haven't given up. We survived. Barely. Bruised and tired and not the same people we were, but still here. And maybe that's enough for now.